I mean, it's not a secret to say that Star Wars has become like a little contentious, right? Like Star Wars is a series that I grew up with and I loved. I think that Star Wars is a fantastic 5.5 movies. I don't know if it has continued to be great. I am of two minds when it comes to Star Wars as a whole. So let's rank them. Let's see how I feel about stuff. Let's see what I think about everything, and let's just get this out of the way. So I'm gonna spend the first bit of this knocking out everything I haven't seen yet. So, haven't seen Ashoka, haven't seen The Acolyte, haven't seen Andor, haven't seen Bad Bunch, haven't seen Boba Fett, haven't seen Ewoks: The Battle for Endor. I haven't seen this one. I also haven't seen Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I saw a few episodes and didn't care for it and didn't continue it. So maybe I'm the wrong person to do this. But let's see. There's droids, more Clone Wars, more close. Lando, sure. Obi-Wan, I still haven't seen it yet. Probably won't. Star Wars. So, oh my god, the holiday special. That's staying in. Seen that one. This one, Tales of the Jedi, Young Jedi Adventures, Rogue Six, Skeleton Crew, Solo, Visions. Is that everything? Is that everything? I haven't seen Rebels. I haven't seen everything else. I haven't seen this. All right. So, this is all the Star Wars stuff I haven't seen and probably don't care to see. So, also haven't seen this. I noticed they don't have the games here. Star Wars games is probably what I'm more versed to actually rank here. But let's go. Let's see how this do. Let's see what happens, and hopefully I come through with some kind of good thing. Star Wars: A New Hope is great. I would consider it right up there. It's a solid B movie. I don't mean like it's a B movie. I mean like as a movie, it's solid. It's B. It's rated B. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's the B. So, what's great about this movie? Well, the acting is cheesy and fun. It's the first taste of the universe. It's the first time anyone tried to do this kind of like Flash Gordon-esque storytelling in such a narrative form and sink like resources behind it. No one expected this to be an amazing success. No one expected this to work. No one expected this to work so well that it's literally worth billions and billions of dollars decades later. This is a franchise that shouldn't have been. This should not have existed as a whole. This is something that I think everyone, it's fantastic. I think that everything in it works. I think that it's fun. I think that it's a lot of interesting bits. I think that it's very engaging, and it's like what can you say? It's iconic. It's iconic for all the right reasons, and it works really well. So that would be what I would consider from A New Hope. Now, is it the best Star Wars movie? No, but it establishes the rules that every other Star Wars movie will play by from here on out. So I'm going to go to The Empire Strikes Back next. It's obviously the best. It's considered one of the best science fiction movies of all time. For good reason. It ends really bleakly, but the whole adventure is very solid from beginning to end. Great scenery, great characters. You really develop a relationship with them. It's the Star Wars movie. If you can watch one Star Wars movie, it will be this one. So, it would be silly for me to put it anywhere else. That would be a sneeze. And I'm not even going to be able to edit that out. Alright. Next up we have Return of the Jedi. It's as good, but a little worse than A New Hope. I don't feel like that's a contentious point. I feel like that's just a true point. Star Wars Return of the Jedi wraps up the trilogy nicely. It gives you a lot of hope for the future as to whether or not that was good or not. We'll find out. But it's good. It's a really good movie. Very solid. It still sticks to the basics, still has a lot of interest in it, still very engaging. You know the characters at this point, you love the characters at this point, and you just want more. So, overall, Star Wars Return of the Jedi is fine. Is it the weakest of the three? Yes, but that doesn't mean it's not very, very good. So, moving on, we have the Christmas special, which is hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. Does it deserve to be on this list? No. Does it deserve to exist? No. But it does. And because it does, I can put it on this list and it's going there. Oh god, it's so bad. But at the same time, it's so bad it almost loops around and becomes good again, but it doesn't. It just remains bad. So, keep that in mind if you're going through and doing next. I don't think I can properly explain the hype that I felt as a child going into Star Wars Episode 1. This was my generation's Star Wars. This was going to be great. This was going to be the one that would have, like, sealed everything and made everything fantastic. And we went in, and we watched it, and it happened, and we left, and we were super happy. We loved it. We were super engaged and really, really interested in it, and it wasn't good. I admit back at the time I could, get some sort of enjoyment out of it. Now I think it's mostly in realm of, like, it has great moments inside, but this was the first situation where we're just like, oh, George Lucas actually isn't a very good director. And it's not super engaging, super interesting, but it's good enough. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's campy. You can't go wrong with it. Well, you can go wrong with it. They do go wrong with it. But it's not the worst. That is like the most shallow endorsement I could give of something. But the hype was real, man. We had like Burger King and Pizza Hut and KFC. Like all of them were out there trying to get you to spend your money on Episode 1 stuff. And it worked. It worked really well. We spent a lot of money on a lot of things. So, going forward, we have Attack of the Clones, which was better than Episode 1, but it's not great. It's definitely, I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag between what the hell is going on and this is interesting. So, I will say I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. I will happily take a bad Star Wars movie over a great other franchise, whatever it is. But overall, it is one of those ones that I'm just like, it's not one I'm going to go back to as often as the others. Moving on, we had Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith? Return of the Sith? It's fine. It's better than the other two. The prequels kind of get better as time goes on, and as time, like as they go on, and then as time has gone on, we've all kind of softened to them a little bit, because we've seen what happens when you just have a franchise that just goes off the rails. So, it's only fair that we explore that realm. In terms of the Clone Wars movie is fine. It's good. It's kind of forgettable, and, it ends and he still has Ahsoka around, and everyone was just like, why? What's going on? They're not realizing that it would fold off into a full series, and it became one, and it was a good show. Everyone still seems to really enjoy it, so I will give it a shot one day, maybe, but I'm not in a rush. So, coming back to Star Wars, after the Disney merger, after Disney folded into Star Wars, everyone was really, really cautious about everything. But there is nothing that sparked love again like The Force Awakens. Yes, it's a retread of A New Hope. Yes, it's all the same beats as the first one. But they worked, and they worked really well. And I think a lot of us were super engaged and super interested in what they were presenting. And between this and Rogue One, which was released less than a year later, I would say they are some of the best Star Wars stories that have come out for the whole franchise. So, am I as fond of it now as I was then? No, not necessarily. Everything does sour a little bit over time, but, in terms of, like, how this is played out at the time, I would consider this so. Now, controversially, I would consider The Last Jedi to be the best of the new franchise. The Last Jedi is a troubled movie, to say the least. It wasn't, well, it was very mixed reviews. Either you loved it or you hated it. I loved it. And I'm not sure if a lot of the hate was coming from like the geek culture mentality that was really forming around this time and really strong-arming a lot of there's a lot of undertones to that I don't agree with. Like there's the undertone, it's just like, oh, it's women, oh, it's you know, it's minorities, oh, it's everything needs to be woke now. I'm just like, no, it's a story. And what I liked about The Last Jedi and what they teased, which I thought would have been so good for the third one, was balance. Like, not eliminating the dark side of the Force, but finding the balance between the two. I'm just like, that's interesting. That's a space that Star Wars hasn't gone before. So it was immediately just rejected. And based simply off of that, Solo was just tarnished, man. It got trampled. But is it a bad movie? No. It's a perfectly fine little heist flick. It's fun. It's silly. It doesn't take itself seriously, which is something that a lot of other shows, a lot of other movies did or do and still do. Donald Glover, perfect casting. Like, that alone should be worth it. So, if you haven't seen Solo yet, it's worth it. Enjoy it. Moving on. Mandalorian. I think it's really good. But I do think it's very slow. It's a slow burn of a show, which if you're fine with, is good. If you're not fine with it, it's going to grate on you a little bit. So that's my stand. Other people have their own, which is fine. And then finally, we're going to get to Rise of Skywalker, which I think is probably just the worst. I hated it. I still hate it. I don't know a single... I'm not saying it ruined the franchise for me, but it starts off on the wrong foot, and instead of doing anything interesting or engaging, they literally just bring back the least interesting villain, and they don't even do it through, it's just like, oh, this person's back. I'm just like, I don't care. Why did this series end this way? That's me being harsh on it, I guess, but what can I say? It's not good. I don't think that's a contentious opinion. It's just not. It's not even like a well-designed movie. You know? It's just not good. Anyways, this is where I stand. Where do you stand? What's your favorite Star Wars movie or TV show? Because there's a lot of those now. What Star Wars TV show should I get into? That's a good question. And until next time, I will see you later.